people, here we are. Oh my gosh, just every time we're back and it feels good. I like it. I got my boy Leo here. I'm Jovenshire, you know us. Let's get into what really matters this week. A Power Rangers movie.
Wait. Hey, Joven, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's Morphin' time!
So it was announced this week that Lionsgate is going to be remaking Power Rangers. That's really exciting. We'll see what more information comes out from it. But this episode's going to be a little bit different. We'd love to talk about more Power Ranger stuff, but we got a rant. Leo, what are we talking about today?
When it comes to superheroes, Batman is to Joven as Spider-Man is to Leo. And yes, the new Spider-Man movie was released, and I have some things to say about it.
This is going to be our unofficial review. It technically is a review.
A spoiler-ridden review.
Oh, so many spoilers. And you know what?
Yeah.
Normally we'd say, oh, if you don't want spoilers, click away. Do not click away.
You know, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. If you have not seen Spider-Man yet, don't. We don't want you to see it. Captain America 2 just came out a few weeks ago, and that movie raised the bar for superhero movies.
Exactly.
Spider-Man lowered the bar below where it used to be. Let's go into like the real details.
Let's get
here.
into this.
Starting with the plot. The movie was 2 hours and 30 minutes
Unnecessarily
long. It was 40 minutes longer than it could have easily. I could have taken so many things out. The movie opens on what happens to Peter's parents.
Yeah. Which, by the way, why? Who cares? It's not relevant
It's not important. It's not part of the Spider-Man movie doesn't need it. Now, yes, it starts off kind of exciting because it's like, okay, we're going to establish what happened with the parents, what's really going on. But guess what? We never actually get into it. The first 15 minutes of this movie is that entire scene with the parents, and none of it matters throughout the rest of the movie.
I also want to point out that we never really cared either.
Nope.
We never had any investment in Peter's parents.
Also, when you're looking at, like, story-wise, with the parents, there's a moment where Peter tries to figure it all out. He tries to figure it all out, and then he finds this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hideout.
Which, oh my God, that hideout. Why did they have to make an entire scene about this overly elaborate hideout for 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Like, it had no relevance to the plot.
And not only that, without having any relevance, let's say this kid who's been trying to figure out what's wrong with his parents, what happened, finds all the answers, and guess what? After that, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He's like, oh, so I just found this hidden battle station that my father built somehow. He just leaves.
Yeah.
You think like, oh, cool, this is going to be
like, he doesn't even really find
lair.
anything out. He doesn't bring the information to family. He doesn't bring it to the...
He finds a vlog.
That's it. And it's like ruining Oscorp, and he does nothing with it. What? In fact, right afterwards, he goes finds Mary Jane, or wow. Oops. After that, he goes finds Gwen Stacy, and it's like, hey, you're going to Europe? You know what? I'm free. There's crime there.
They got tall buildings in London. I can swing.
What the fuck? You don't... pardon, I'm very angry about this. You don't establish...
He can join Excalibur.
Oh, wow. So we go on, and he's like, I'm ready to leave. It's fine. Like, you just found out everything you wanted to find out, and you do nothing with it, and you're just ready to go?
Yeah. It made no sense. They build up to something that ends up ultimately being completely empty. Yeah. There's no purpose. All it does is make him stop crying, basically.
No. And let's talk about other things that were completely pointless that were in this movie that threw off the pacing.
Sure. First of all, it's a love movie.
It absolutely is. Do you feel the fall and then the rise
now,
and then...
I will give them credit for trying to make us care about the relationship because everybody in comic book history knows that Gwen Stacy dies. It's one of the most poignant moments in comic book history. Yes.
So
they want you to get attached to the character because, oops, we forgot to do that in the first movie. So they want you to really care about Gwen and the relationship. I get that. But they do it in a very Twilight-y way.
Yeah, and it's like, because he keeps seeing her dad, and he's like, no, I need to leave you. I made a promise. I need to leave.
Yeah. All those, what was it, Dennis Leary? Just all those scenes of him lurking in the background of everything. Like, really creepy.
It needed to stop. Yeah. The other thing that absolutely I was so disappointed about because I wanted this and it wasn't necessary was Rhino.
Oh my God.
Everything you saw in the trailers, guys.
First of all, what have we learned about putting too many villains in a movie?
Don't do it.
Yeah.
This is why. It was in the first few moments of the movie and the last few moments of the movie.
And not only that, it was literally the last moments of the movie. Literally the last thing you see before
ended on the stupidest cliffhanger.
Before you see the credits, the last thing you see is the commercial to Spider-Man. Yeah. It's not like, oh, Rhino's going to be part of the movie. No, the commercials are literally the last scene of the movie.
100%, I'm not lying to you.
What?
The entire sequence of the Rhino in this movie can be seen online through clips and through trailers.
Not a joke.
Don't put Rhino in the movie if he's not in the point.
They build up a climax. And the thing is, you're watching the movie going, I haven't seen that scene from the commercial yet. Does that mean you know it's going to be the last scene? It's not even special.
What I found really hard to have this conversation with other people is like, oh, but they're just setting up for the Sinister Six movie. First of all, that movie is not coming for at least 4 years.
And not only that, we already know who 5 of the Sinister Six are going to be because they show Vulture, they show Dr. Octopus, Rhino, Green Goblin.
If you're going to make me spend my money to watch a movie that just sets up another movie, that's why Iron Man 2 failed. Because Iron Man 2 was just a prequel to the Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with that logic. That's exactly what it is.
It was...
They're using movies as commercials for another movie, which will be a commercial for another movie, and I kind of get that marketing strategy. But in the end, it just makes a less than complete project. Like, you get something that's just empty.
It's like an 8-year-old just went through, like, I want to see this, 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 threw it all in there, and then it didn't make any sense.
I would rather watch that, like just all the individual scenes that I want to see Spider-Man doing, than watch this whole movie in its completion. There were plot devices that were trying to drive the story along that really had no relevancy to the movie itself. There's a scene where Spider-Man's fighting Electro in a power grid designed by Electro, who's a complete moron, by the way. I don't know how
We'll get into characters in a second.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that. So they're fighting, and while they're fighting, the city loses power, and 2 planes end up on the same trajectory, and they're about to crash. I had so many problems with this. Number one, the chances with a X, Y, and Z coordinate, the 2 planes are headed right towards each other is, I mean, yes, we're talking about a movie with a radioactive Spider-Man, but the fact that 2 planes are going to crash in midair,
if you're going to ground a movie in some kind of reality, even if it's reality with superheroes,
exactly.
you have to give us something that makes a little more sense here.
And not only that,
unnecessary.
But think about this: Spider-Man doesn't even know that those planes are going to crash.
There is absolutely no sense of urgency.
Exactly.
But he has a sense of emergency.
And I get it, okay? The ticking time bomb is the #1 device used in action movies to make you feel invested in the scene. Like, oh my God, is he going to save the day or not?
1 second left on that bomb.
But the hero himself doesn't even give a shit.
Yeah. There's no attachment to anything.
That's so lazy.
Speaking of lazy, let's look at character development.
Oh, Jesus.
There was none. There was absolutely no character development whatsoever.
Hey, I haven't seen you since I was 8 years old.
Oh my God, best friends all
Let's go
again.
skip stones in the park.
Looking at Harry Osborn, such like a good actor. I did enjoy his portrayal of the Green Goblin in this movie.
He was awesome in Chronicle.
But their relationship was so, just like Leo was talking about, they meet up, and all of a sudden they're best friends to the point where he explains to Peter that I need to go to Spider-Man, get his blood to save my life.
As a matter of fact, the scene in which they talk for the first time in all these years, Harry leaves a board meeting after Peter knocks on the door, and he's almost explaining to Harry, hey, we're friends, you know?
Yeah.
We're friends. And Harry's like, motherfucker, I don't know who you are.
And it's just forcing it to the audience, like, hey, no, we're friends.
Forced.
The reason Green Goblin actually hates Spider-Man is because Spider-Man, who does show up, doesn't want to give the Green Goblin his blood to what could actually save his life.
Yeah, and that's enough to make him go completely maniacally crazy.
And because he's not getting what he wants, he's gonna be a supervillain. He needs to kill Spider-Man. He's gonna get Electro to do his dirty work. It makes no sense.
And speaking of Electro, speaking of that fact, why does Electro hate Spider-Man? Why in this movie?
I really liked where Jamie Foxx was going with this character in the beginning.
Me too.
I liked it. He was a character that no one really respected, no one even really noticed. We've seen that in superhero movies before, Riddler. What happens here is there's an altercation that he doesn't even mean to be in, Electro.
Right.
And so Spider-Man once saved his life, so he has a connection to him. And then Spider-Man's like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Some stupid sniper takes a shot.
And a cool scene, in a very cool Spider-Man style scene.
Yeah, it was
that
great.
was awesome.
That was good. Sniper takes a shot, Electro gets pissed off, now hates the Spider-Man because he lied to me. Yeah. He lied to me.
And
he took a shot. He lied to me. Now I'm a supervillain.
The whole reason this even sets him off is because earlier in the movie, Spider-Man saves him from getting hit by a truck and he picks up his blueprints. And now this guy's completely infatuated with Spider-Man because he got noticed for the first time. Now, in the comics, Electro isn't the brightest bulb.
I like it.
You got it.
Him. There was no motivation for him to want to become a supervillain and to like had the animosity towards the Spider. Yeah. Same thing with Green Goblin. There was no point to it. Now here's why people like the movie. Oh, it was entertaining. It was a roller coaster. Like bullshit. No. You're better than that. Yeah. Writers should be doing a much better job when we can see it in The Dark Knight, when we can see it in Avengers. But we can make a good movie.
You're right. The thing I felt that I got out of this movie was as if the writers had written it to appeal to a younger teenage fandom base so that they would have things to post on Tumblr.
So we're dumbing down the audience just to give them flashing lights and dubstep. Which,
by the way, dubstep is in them. They fight to dubstep, and Spider-Man acknowledges it.
Whenever Electro shoots lightning, there's dubstep that
literally
plays.
Dubstep.
Like YouTube status.
Yeah.
Like
Electro has his own theme song in the movie, and it's dubstep, and he plays it with lightning.
And a great moment was Gwen Stacy dying.
That was a good moment.
This was done well, but I don't know if this is something that did you know?
Yes!
That is how we both noticed!
We haven't even talked about it. We're like,
Oh my god,
we're Spider Bros. Okay, so
So it's in a clock tower.
it's in a clock tower. Okay, she falls off a bridge, close enough, whatever. Spider-Man goes, no, he shoots his web to save her. And in the campiest thing I've ever seen in a superhero movie, the tip of his web turns into a tiny little hand.
Try to reach out and grab her.
I threw up in my mouth.
Really? Like, do we actually need this? And also, fun fact, don't know if you knew this, there's a clock that hits 121 when she dies. She dies in issue 121.
It makes me mad because it's within the same 5 seconds of a web turning into a hand. And hey, you know what would be really visually cool? You know how we can really paint a picture? What if it's like, he couldn't save her? You can just see executives doing
Like,
this in a
what
room.
the Sony?
Oh my god.
Get your shit together. Marvel's doing so much better than you. It's because you can't put together a team that can make a good movie.
Ooh,
You are dumbing down the audience and dumbing down geeks and a comic book audience that is growing up to want to watch your movies in the future. Stop
deep.
it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm upset. This was a pity this movie was made. I pity the fool. I pity Sumi. So yeah, we just shit all over the new Spider-Man movie, and honestly, it deserved it. There's a lot of you that did like it because it was flashy lights and good. You're better than that. Really look into a movie before you're like, no, I liked it. But hey, hopefully we'll like the other ones. If we offended you, I'm only a little bit sorry.
I'm not sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching this episode. You can follow me on Twitter at the Jovenshire. Of course, follow this guy at Leo Zombie. Check out his YouTube channel, which is Mr. Leo Zombie.
Correct.
Talk to us. Let us know. We want to. We always talk about wanting to do this more often. We want to do this every week. We're coming close to being able to do that.
Yeah.
So stick around. I hope you like these. What else do you want us to talk about? Maybe more Power Ranger stuff. We could do that.
We can do that. Zictuya!
Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Live out loud. We'll see you later.